comparing them to last year, and of course, predictably recording increases. Let's see. I mean, a 50 kg bag of local parboiled rice, 22,500 on average now, as against 17,000 around this time last year, a 32% increase. 50 kg bag of foreign rice, 27,500, averaging from about 14.5 last year, which is, what's that, 90% increase. So if we look at the CPP, which is the Christmas pocket performance from a number of people, hasn't been pretty. In fact, no, I should start with myself. So Lagos, I didn't buy any gifts. I didn't buy any gifts. You know why I didn't buy any gifts? Let me tell you why I didn't buy any gifts. Because salaries were paid early. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Salaries were paid early for income earning folks out there. But we all know that January is going to feel like the longest month in the entire year. So you can imagine someone getting their salaries early, allocating about some of that to Christmas gifts, which of course have all, if they're imported or whatever, have increased, and then not having to use the rest of that to take them through the new year, the first month of the new year, in addition, of course, to looking at taking care of other expenses that come up. So my CPP, my Christmas pocket performance was on zero. Let me just tell you now, it's just cards. Friends and family got cards from Rotus. I'll tell you right now. But let me quote a couple people that were talking to Business Day here. A lady by the name of Blessing Orizu, mother of 3 at mile 12 market, said, quote, "We cannot afford to buy the things we used to buy before because prices of everything have gone up." She also said, "It's been really difficult for my family. We now buy little of what we feel is important. The painful thing is that my salary is still the same despite the high rate of inflation." Where is inflation, ladies and gentlemen? We know where inflation is. Inflation is at 11.85% for November. What was the central bank's target for the year? I believe it was 11.7. So already, well, I guess that's averaging out. So perhaps if we average out for the year, so I'm looking at just November. Central bank for the entire year, I think they said it to average out to 11.7. So let's see what the inflation is for December. Let's average it out. So inflation is up, right? Have wages increased correspondingly? Nope. Not according to Blessing, and I think a lot of other people can attest to that as well. Okay, we already have messages, so hang on. Before I get to that message, let me quote who else was talking to Business Day here. A banker by the name of Ronke. She said, "My disposable income now is smaller than it was last year, as I have to get little for the same amount I spent before." So we can already see that for Mrs. Orizu and Ronke, their CPP, Christmas pocket performance, hasn't been very strong. Ronke also says here, "Every Christmas I usually cook and share with my neighbors, but I will not be doing that this year. I cannot afford to do so because of the high cost of food items." She said, "I couldn't buy anything for my parents this festive period as I cannot afford to. Prices are higher and it's making it difficult for me." So Ronke's CPP, her Christmas pocket performance, it's on zero. I don't blame her. I don't blame her. There's a new year to look at. MI. Good morning, darling Santa Rotus. This is MI from Akoka. Sanwo-Olu declared the toll free today and New Year's Day. Okay. So that's his gift to my pocket. I appreciate it, Governor Sanwo-Olu. Thank you for that. Purchasing power parity is very low. MI continues. Disposable income has been attacked by taxes and higher spending caused by inflation. And then I think it says Enugbegan. Excuse me not being able to pronounce this. Let me do the whole thing. It says Enugbegan Igbo Orerimo. Did I get that right, Emma? Thank you for that message. Who else is here now? Ifeanyi. From Iba, "Merry Christmas to you, intelligent and fabulous crew led by Professor Rotus." I'm not a professor. Inka, Merry Christmas. I say Ifeanyi, Merry Christmas to you as well. Thank you so much for that. Goke from UK, "Merry Christmas, Smooth FM crew. May your homes be filled with joy, laughter, contentment, and abundant mercy." Thank you, Goke. I appreciate it. We wish you and your family the same. After all, we're all still here. All right, so at least you should be grateful for that, even though our pockets, our CPPs, our Christmas pocket performance for some of us hasn't been that strong. Let's see. Bami Girl is sending us a message, a Christmas message here on WhatsApp. Thank you so much. We appreciate it. Keep the Christmas cheer coming. We want to hear from you guys. Thank you so much. Yinka, I see you typing. I want to hear what Yinka is saying here. Timothy also sending a message. "Merry Christmas." Yes, jingle bells. Look, so the Christmas cheer is there. It's good to see. But of course, there's the cheer and then there's the reality of where incomes are and how we've been able, whether of course people have been able to purchase the items that they usually purchase around this festive period. Again, demand has increased. The border closure has reduced supply of some of our food items that come through our land borders. So you combine all of those things. Food inflation, of course, we've talked about this on the show several times in the past, but food inflation has been one of the major drivers of inflation and why it's where it is today. So you see the combination: reduced supply, increased demand for foodstuffs during the festive period, lower incomes compared to last year, and well, we are where we are. So that's business day there. What was that headline from them? Rising food prices signal bleak Christmas for Nigerians. And again, you have to conserve the income that you have going into the new year, because it's hard to resist that spending urge. But with where things are now, folks have to do that. Nairametrics here: Stony rice floods market. So that's something that we've talked about in the past here. I think they're talking about the influx, I believe, of local rice, trying to plug that gap with regards to the supply reduction. Local rice producers have tried to plug the gap. As a result, we've got some people who've been jumping into the space to try to take advantage of the price increases due to increased demand, lower supply. And sadly, according to Nairametrics here, there's been some influx of stony rice that's been gone into the market here. What other messages do we have here? Yinka, what's up? Yinka says, Merry Christmas, Rotus. Well, since you mentioned the tolls, and let's talk about it. Lucky toll guys he uses a certain word here for customer service. You can't access your account online. The link bridge is even terrible because you can't apply for toll e-tag online. You see why we say the same people thrive on necessary bottlenecks in our system. It's a shame. Yeah, that is true. Yinka actually brings up a good point. As I had the last 2 times I went to top up my account at the toll, I had to do it in cash. It seems that this is still tied to the system upgrade that they did towards the last week in November, when they announced that they will be doing a system upgrade and the e-tag was not going to be working. That was a little bit of a difficult period for a lot of us. So it seems like they still don't have the ability to top up. I believe somebody else also sent me a tweet saying the same thing. So Yinka, thanks for pointing that out. Speaking of the tolls, there was a rumor that went around yesterday saying that the Lekki Ikoyi toll was going to be doubled. It was going to increase by 100%. It was circulating around WhatsApp and a bunch of other platforms. But the LCC came out on Twitter and debunked it. So for now, there is no double increase. There's no increase for the toll at the Lekki Ikoyi toll fee. However, they did say that they're going cashless effective January 1st, 2020. That's the reality. I'm very curious to see how this is going to be executed. This is more of a Tech Friday story, but still, it's Wednesday. The news came out yesterday. If we wait till Friday, to be stale, so we might as well discuss it now. So how effective is this cashless system coming on board January 1st, 2020 for the Lekki Ikoyi toll? How effective is it going to be? How are they going to be able to make sure that cars are not backlogged and causing traffic? Perhaps they should have given us some more time to test it out and see whether it works. But I don't really apply that bridge. For those of you that apply the Lekki Ikoyi toll, let me know your thoughts. Yinka continues here. Rotus, when I told you January comes in 3 in 1. January, he did say that. January Light, Pro, and Pro Max. What do you think I was implying? First week is Light, second week is Pro, and the third/4th week is Pro Max. That's why some of us fixed our 2019 leave in the 3rd and 4th week of January. It's safer. Yinka has a point. You push it back, then it may help you as far as spending is concerned. Ifeanyi says, Rotus, no guests. I understand though. Yes, of course. AfriInvest usually comes in on Wednesdays, but it is a holiday. So on public holidays, whatever day that falls on, whoever is supposed to come in as a guest, we let them stay home and rest. So shout out to AfriInvest. We appreciate you and all your analysts that you send every week on Wednesday. Ifeanyi continues here from Ibai, says, I believe we don't need to overspend during this period, just that some folks will do anything in terms of Christmas spending to impress others. Yinka, Ifeanyi brings up a very strong point. Anyway, the reality is that if you're spending, I mean, in fact, I have personal finance this afternoon at 5:15. So you guys should also tune in for personal finance later this afternoon. That one we talk about a number of things there. But please, as Ifeanyi has pointed out in his WhatsApp message, I really hope nobody out there is spending items on Christmas gifts in order to impress anybody. I mean, if you have strong relationship, unless, I don't know, you have strong relationships with people, you hopefully can explain to them. Everybody knows what's going on. In fact, tell them to listen to this show so we can explain that the economy is not where it used to be as compared to last year, and things are tough. So you really shouldn't be spending any money to impress anybody. John says, Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays to you all. Thank you, John. We wish you the same and your family as well. Bolaji. Oh, okay. Enugbe literally means dry mouth. Okay, thank you for translating. That was the message that Emma from Akoka sent earlier on. Thank you for translating. So yeah, it's a dry period for the mouth and pocket this period. Yinka comes back. Cashless at the tolls. Shebi, it's us Nigerians living in Lagos. Abi, we'll scatter the whole thing last. Toll gates that even when you have money in your e-tag, the system is not working, and their staff will ask you to pay with cash. The last time they tried it with me, I caused traffic, and then they let me go for free. Yeah, Yinka does bring up a point. Again, I want to see how effective this thing is, because I saw the signs, even in the tweets that the LCC sent out when they were debunking that story, saying that the Lekki Ikoyi fee is going to double. They're like, no, the only news that came out is that we're going cashless. So again, we're all here. We've announced it on the show. People will drive up across the bridge. I'll even go test it myself. We'll see how it works, and we'll see how effective that is. All right, we've talked about this CPP Christmas pocket performance. Let's move to jobs, yeah? Because, Lagos, imagine somebody who hasn't just left NYSC for a year or so, still hasn't found work. Unemployment, we keep talking about it. How does a person who has been out of work for a year feel during this Christmas period if they're wanting to buy gifts for other people? That helplessness of not being able to have the income to do these sorts of things. The Senate, I think it was earlier this week, they are calling for an unemployment fund to boost job creation. They were deliberating here on the increasingly worrisome unemployment rate, which, by the way, as we've talked about on this show, has not been updated since the third quarter of 2018. So we've gone throughout the entire unless unemployment figures come out between now and next week, we would have gone an entire year of 2018 with no update on unemployment figures. Last figures were 21%, and I believe about 20 point something million Nigerians are out of work. However, if you combine underemployment and unemployment for the youth, I think it's like 40-something%. So it's not a pretty picture. Anyway, the Senate has said they are mulling, says they are considering an unemployment fund to boost job creation. How would that work? What we already have N-Power. We've all got all these other. The Jonathan administration had You Win. We've had all these job creation job creation initiatives. So how would this fund work? They didn't go into any specifics as to how much will be put into the fund. They didn't go into any specifics as to, I mean, think about it now. It's a fund. Okay, so what does the fund do? You take the money and you're supposed to use that money to create employment opportunities for people. The thing about jobs is there has to be a demand. There has to be a demand for a task to be completed. So if a company needs a particular task to be completed, you then create job openings and you request the skills needed for those tasks to be completed. That's how you create jobs. You also have to create new ecosystems and so on and so forth. Where imagine if Nigeria was to pour money into renewable energy, and you start building windmills for solar, for wind energy or whatever. You're creating demand. You need skills to attend to that. That's how you create jobs, right? I mean, I hear Nasarawa has lithium deposits. If you decide, somebody in Nasarawa, the governor says he wants to create a battery that, I think the lithium battery is what powers Tesla's electric cars. And I know we don't have lights, but I'm just making an example here. If that's creating jobs. If they say they want to develop that battery in Nasarawa with their lithium deposits, then you are creating an ecosystem for lithium batteries, and you need to have skills, engineering skills. Now you've created jobs. So where is this fund? How do you do it? Senate, they haven't given any light on this. So again, Senate mulls unemployment fund to boost job creation. Help me out, anybody that's listening. How is this fund going to work? Yinka comes back. Rotus, why do companies pay 13th month salaries in November? Why not December? How that money disappears in November is still a mystery to me. I have been there and still there. All I do is ensure I have a minimum of 50K running cost into January, else it's going to be red. That is some personal advice, personal finance advice from Yinka. So it's in fact, speaking of Yinka, good. That's a very good strategy. Capping your costs. 50K. That's it. I can't go over 50K as far as my expenses are concerned. Governor Makinde, see, I've wasted time. I didn't get a chance to talk about him. Really quickly, speaking of 13th month, he announced that he's paying 13th month salaries on the 28th. I think that's on Saturday, or Friday or Saturday, 28th, for civil servants in Oyo State. He had a media chat, his quarterly media chat, and just thinking about capping costs, what Yinka just sent just now. Makinde was asked how he's been able to pay salaries. He said one thing he did was he still drives his personal car, right? He still drives his personal car, and he did not approve for new cars for administration officials in Oyo State, and that's how they've been able to pay salaries. Also, when they asked him about the minimum wage, implementing minimum wage in Oyo State, he had a very honest answer. He said, look, I understand higher minimum wage has been implemented, but we have promises we've made to Oyo State residents in as far as infrastructure and so on and so forth. How do we execute this? He said, we'll see how we can do it. We'll see how we can manage it. So he was very transparent as to the difficulties in paying. But you talk about capping costs. That's I have to bring up Mr. Governor Makinde, who is, I have to say, I'm pretty impressed with what he's been doing. But then it's early days, so let's not get too ahead of ourselves. MI. Says here, the stony rice that people rejected is becoming the holy grail. When preferred is not available or affordable, the affordable naturally becomes the preferred. That's a very good point. He continues, typical keeping up with the Joneses. This is referring to Ifeanyi's message about spending on Christmas presents to impress people in a tight economy. Spending money you don't have to buy what you don't need just to impress people who may not even like you in the first place. Words of wisdom there, MI. Real One from Lekki. Merry Christmas to you and the entire Business Express crew. Please advise me. Is there any investment plan that can be yielding something meaningful, preferably on a monthly basis? I am doing my findings, but your advice would be highly appreciated. Real One, right now the stock market is down, about 14-15%. It's too volatile. I'm not sure what your risk appetite is like. Yeah. So if you notice, I think Ugo Dre even mentioned this not too long ago. If you notice, we haven't been giving stock market updates on Business Express for a while. So it's really fixed income that we've been looking at. And we've been, that's your T-bills. Of course, rates are coming down there. Of course, the atmosphere is a low yield environment for rates. But it's the safest place for you to place your money. So I'm emphasizing on safety here. So fixed income instruments, fixed deposits, money market instruments, stuff like that. That's what we're looking at. And there are, Valentine is giving me the air traffic control system. So fixed income instruments is where I would look at, and also some US dollar funds. We'll get into that probably more so tomorrow. Okay, guys, time's running out. Again. Merry Christmas to all of you. MI, Real One, Ifeanyi, Yinka, Timothy, John, Bolaji, everybody that sent a message. Goke, CPP, Christmas Pocket Performance. Keep it tight. Business Express, wishing you all a Merry Christmas. Stay safe, and we'll see you all tomorrow.
Express, brought to you by EnterSwitch.
Thank you.
Solutions you can depend on.
So free toll from Sanwo-Olu.
Yeah.
For
Someone hoping for their dreams to come true. We chase our dreams down. They keep searching for answers. We question the answers and discover new possibilities. Why? Because we dare to choose different. We choose us. We choose Verve. Ask your bank for your Verve card today. Verve, the rewarding way to make payments.
Not hey, say hi. Love music. Christmas. What is Christmas?
Love life.
Christmas is a time for sharing, spending good time with family, a house full of laughter, joy, gift giving and gift receiving. Merry Christmas from Asha and Smooth 98.1. No, I don't know what to do with the season's credits.
Christmas is about food, it's about people, it's about...
Grandma likes food. Do you wish people seasons or what? Greeting.
Smooth 98.1.
Happy birthday, mi amor.
Thank you, Greg. I hope you have my present.
Well, I thought you would prefer a Christmas trip to Dubai.
Sure, but you know how expensive prices get around that period.
Well, that's the reason I chose Travel Wings. With Travel Wings, you can book your December and even New Year tickets from now and enjoy their installment payment plan.
I've got to tell my friends about this.
All they have to do is book online at travelwings.com.ng or call them on 016-361-010.
No, I can't wait till December.
Travel Wings. Get your wings to fly.
I am Post, and this is Smooth Breakfast.
Happy birthday, mi amor.
Thank you, Greg. I hope you have my present.
Well, I thought you would prefer a Christmas trip to Dubai.
Sure, but you know how expensive prices get around that period.
Well, that's the reason I chose Travel Wings. With Travel Wings, you can book your December and even New Year tickets from now and enjoy their installment payment plan.
I've got to tell my friends about this.
All they have to do is book online at
played it
travelwings.com.ng or call them on 016-361-010.
No, I can't wait till December.
Travel Wings. Get your wings to fly.